Welcome back once again. There is an adage that states that destiny can be delayed, but it can never be denied. This is exactly what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu's case ahead of his appeal. Now, a certain particular judgment and document has now been reviewed by Nnamdi Kanu's prominent lawyers who decided to make hay while the sun shine regarding Nnamdi Kanu's appeal. A lot of persons have been curious and inquisitive of knowing the outcome and the future of Nnamdi Kanu's appeal. Sincerely speaking, with what is happening and the backings Nnamdi Kanu is getting right from the ICC, International Criminal Court, and other prominent bodies, Nnamdi Kanu is going to appear victorious. Now, as we speak, a document has now revealed that self-determination is not a criterion for Nnamdi Kanu to be detained. Neither is even a criterion for him to face trial under Justice James Omotosho. Talk more of, getting convicted under a repeat law. I'm going to be showing you what Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejimako, came out recently and made as a very clear, clarification regarding Nnamdi Kanu's appeal. And frankly speaking, you know fully well that when a judgment is actually being stated on a particular matter, if another judge does contrary to that judgment, when he even gets to the appeal court or probably the apex court, being the Supreme Court, they will reference the particular judgment that was handled on that particular case ab initio before Justice James Omotosho did what he did. So it is obvious that this particular document, which I'm going to be showing in this particular video, is vindicating Nnamdi Kanu, and it has clearly shown that Nnamdi Kanu is victorious. So when you saw Nnamdi Kanu in the previous court stating clearly that Omotosho, show me the law you use in prosecuting or probably sending me to lifetime imprisonment, there was no clear answer to that particular question. I'm going to be showing you all in full context, but before I do that, listen attentively to Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, being Barrister Maxwell Okpara. He reacted bitterly regarding the rehabilitation of terrorists within the 6 months of their arrest and telling to release them back to the society. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, being Barrister Maxwell Okpara, reacted towards this. Now, remember, these were the things Nnamdi Kanu clamored for, that the ideology of these people is nothing to write home about. This set of persons they want to rehabilitate into the society are the persons who go to the farm and, unalive farmers send their cows and all their flocks to eat the crops of these farmers. And when the farmers probably retaliate or seek vengeance, they go as far as unaliving them. Now, the security operatives caught them. Now, they are stating that they are going to rehabilitate them back to the society. Listen attentively to Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer on what he stated against this. So when we come back, we'll continue.
Once a minor commit a crime, no matter the level of that crime, you try the minor under juvenile law. That one is a separate ballgame altogether. Now, you are talking about United Nations resolution. United Nations resolution is not automatic. This is a resolution. It's advisory. It is now left for each sovereign state to look at your own peculiar laws, look at your own peculiar circumstances before you now apply it. Now, one, you should check whether that resolution is even in conflict with your own law. If it is in conflict with your own law, it cannot be applied. That one is one. Then two, if you must apply it, there must be amendment, legislative amendment on that particular issue. That one is also on that. Then two, you should also check the level of crime. Madam Ayo, last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how many generals were killed? Yesterday, how many persons were adopted in Benue by all these terrorists? And instead of you to look for a way to address it, you are busy reintegrating people into the system. I'm assuring you they are creating more harm than good, because those people, okay, Madam, have you think about that boy that lost the father and the mother? That man that lost the entire family. And you are now reintegrating the person in the same community, and you want the person to be watching the person. They are creating, this thing is creating more harm than good, and we should stop it. In the first instance, United Nations brought it when the issue of terrorism in a particular nation has come down. Now, the people in the IDP campus have left IDP camp to the various communities. You can now think about those who committed the act. The victims of this terrorist act, they are still in the IDP camp. And instead of you to think about how to rehabilitate them, instead of you to think about how to make their welfare there, and you are using our hard-earned money to say that you are rehabilitating a criminal under 6 months, it will not stand. We will protest against it.
Welcome back once again. You listen attentively to Barrister Maxwell Opara. This is exactly what is happening. That our soldiers paid the ultimate price in the battle against terrorism. Many lost their lives and other risks, their loved ones to these terrorists. And when you now arrest them to secure communities, yet within 6 months of this arrest, some of these detainees have been released back into the society under rehabilitation and reintegration programs. For crying out loud, these were the things Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was actually stating, and they are now happening. Why in reintegration can be part of a broader peace building strategy. This approach has raised serious concerns among citizens, and that is what it is. The welfare of victims have not been given equal attention. Many are still displaced in IDP camps, sincerely speaking, having lost their homes, lost their livelihoods and communities, some of them which are under control in current insurgents. At the same time, the families of these particular soldiers who died in different line of duty have received little recognition or support. Though, so the imbalance undermines public confidence in the justice and security systems if rehabilitation is to succeed. For crying out loud, how are you going to take this set of persons who own alive farmers, who do a lot of things, cause a lot of atrocities and crises in this particular country, and you want to rehabilitate them, as you could see on your screen? These are the things that has led to the reason why this self-determination, cause of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did, or probably what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu clamored for his ideology, came into existence. Now, Aloy Ejimako, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, who have now seen that this set of persons doing these things in this particular country don't understand what self-determination is. That is the more reason why he went as far as quoting and bringing a particular judgment that has vindicated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on or before even this particular trial by Justice James Omotosho. As you could see on your screen, Aloy Ejimako stated, to those that asked, here is the proof that in October 2023, a high court ruled that self-determination is not a crime and thus cannot be a basis to arrest, detain and prosecute Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If these judgments have been obeyed, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's prosecution and conviction would not have happened. At this point, a lot of persons may be curious of knowing the full details of self-determination. This is exactly what it is. As you could see on your screen, self-determination means the right or ability of a person or group to decide their own future, choices and direction without outside control. And the personal meaning there is making your own decision, choosing your goals, controlling your life, acting independently. Furtherance, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is vindicated with everything that has been clearly stated. Now, Aloy Ejimako went as far as, showing the document that a court in this particular country gave a judgment regarding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's favor. In Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's favor. So, with what this judgment has actually enshrined, in one of the clauses, as you could see on your screen, the second clause stated, a declaration that self-determination is not a crime in Nigeria and cannot be used as a basis to arrest, detain, and prosecute applicants. So, if a particular judge and a particular court in the country has given a judgment in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, what is the jurisdiction of Justice James Omotosho issuing or even sending Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to a trial, talk more of sending him to a lifetime imprisonment? Because it is obvious that if this particular law was obeyed, on or before now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would not have faced any trial, talk more of bringing witnesses to the court. So when you see this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers talking about the appeal and how they have now filed enough documents and facts regarding his appeal, it is a victory come true for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everything is just being awaited on the favorable date that the judges will place to hear that appeal. So if this appeal is working and these judges in the appeal court sees these particular documents and the files and the rendition and all the flaws in this particular judgment on or before now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be vindicated. That is the more reason why Aloy Ejimako in his excerpt was stated that this is a clear vindication that if this particular law was obeyed, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not even have the basis of being arrested, detained, or even prosecuted if this judgment was obeyed. So you could see that it clearly shows the poorest nature of obeying court orders in this particular country. Furtherance, Aloy Ejimako went as far as stating clearly that this is a fact. The North was the first to consider secession before 1960. It wanted to join Niger Republic, and after the 1966 counter coup, Murtala wanted the North out of Nigeria until he was dissuaded by the British, which warned him that the North needed the East and Lagos to survive. So you could hear clearly that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers are really equipped. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Lawyer Jimako, Barrister Maxwell, and all of them, they are really working hand in glove in making sure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appears victorious in this appeal. So with this particular file and document that has stated clearly that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if this particular judgment has been obeyed, he will not even face trial, talk more of being convicted by Judge James Omotosho. It is now left upon the Court of Appeal judges to correct these mistakes and uphold the adage that states that the court is the last hope of a common man. That is exactly what is obtainable. I decided to bring all of this to your view. What is your take regarding everything? Don't forget to share, like, and also hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and click on the like button. Don't forget to often and always type freedom for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.